If you want to learn the process to embodying and empowering the feminine spirit, then check out the book, Healing the Feminine Energy and the Wounds of Your Inner Child. What's up? So in this video, we're going to be talking about the fact that modern women actually want what the traditional woman got. Really, when you look at it, the modern woman thinks that the traditional woman was oppressed, but she deep down wants to be the traditional woman. Now, I say this because it's important for us to highlight and spread the truth, which is that women have been sold a lie. Women have been manipulated. Women have been deceived. Women are having the wool pulled over their eyes. And, sometimes you see a woman say, I woke up to what was being done. But the problem is you don't want to be old too soon, smart too late. It breaks my heart to see when women get older and years have been wasted on bad relationships, miserable experiences, and so on. And then she says, well, I've woken up now. 20 years might have gone by, 30 years might have gone by, literally 40 years might have gone by before she realizes it. And she's built her life based on this lie. And it's very hard for her to get out of this hole that she's basically dug herself into. It's so evil what the system is doing. It's so evil, incredibly. There's no heart to it at all. Because when a woman gets this information, a lot of the times, if she hasn't had bad experiences yet, she actually isn't ready to hear it. But the problem is, then she will need to go through bad experiences before she's willing to hear it. And then it's too late. And that's why I say you're old too soon, smart too late. But yeah, women have been sold a lie. They've been pushed into their masculine energy and have abandoned their feminine energy. And it was based on the narrative that the traditional women were oppressed. But actually, that's definitely not the case, because they want to be, if traditional women were oppressed, why is it that when you look at what women want out of dating, relationships, work, corporate life, and so on, they discover actually that they want to be the traditional woman. On some level, everyone in history has been oppressed. Men, women, everyone, right? But they paint it in a way where they pit us against each other. And you have to realize that femininity was appreciated and loved in women in times past. Of course, it depends on where you go to. That's another thing. They just say women were oppressed forever. Well, was that the case in Africa in traditional times? Because that might be different to if you're talking about the 1850s for women in Europe, for example. There's so many different details to this that they're not telling you that helps them to create a narrative that makes you so resistant to traditional concepts. But actually, traditional living is where the fulfillment is at, because it's more aligned with nature's principles. So what happens is, again, they give you a narrative, women were oppressed, and you're so fearful of it, and you're just resistant to anything. So you get manipulated, and they give you the key, or they seem to give you the path out, which is following modernity and being the modern woman. So you're like, yeah, I'm going to be the corporate boss babe, blah, blah, blah. And then many women realize, hey, I'm actually tired and exhausted now. The type of guys I attract aren't masculine providers. But the traditional woman doesn't have that problem. The traditional women of past, they didn't have that problem. And the traditional women of today, they don't have that problem. That's not a thing in their reality. They don't have to base their feeling of success on corporate climbing, for example, which is causing misery to many women. But by the time they realize, it's actually too late. So again, this causes much misery for women deep down, because again, when you look at what they really want, when you look at the complaints of many women, deep down, they really want to be a traditional woman, but there's so much resistance to it because of how society has painted the narrative, And then before I said many women are being sold this lie on feminism because they were told that women before were oppressed, but basically we were all oppressed, and anything like the rights that were given to, let's say, women would have probably been given to them anyway without feminism, because of we are always becoming more civilized as humans. That's always going to be the case. Today, there are certain things that in 1,000 years, they're going to look at as barbaric. They're going to say, wait, what? Women actually went to, what's it, clinic? They're called clinics. And they did what to their baby in their stomach? Whoa, they're going to look at that and think we were savages for that. The people in the future are going to look at us and think we're barbaric for that. Just like you look at times 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, and you're like, oh, barbaric. We are going to be the same. So as time goes on, we are always being civilized. We are always becoming nicer, you could say, along the timeline. So any of the rights that feminism is saying that they got for women would have been gotten anyway without them. But what it came with is being pushed into their masculine energy. What it came with is rejecting masculine energy from men. What it came with is so much tiring weights that are put on the shoulders of women. What it came with is the misunderstanding of how to be in relationships and dating if you want to be a feminine woman and with a masculine man. What it came with was so many things that actually make women miserable in the end. And as I said, it breaks my heart, because there will come a time where they wake up, but it might be too late, because their life would have been based on this hardness that they've spent time believing in and wanting for themselves. And when that happens, to undo the work takes a very long time. It's a tangle that is very difficult to undo. But anyway, I want to know what you think, right? So comment down below, let Reemus know, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace. More than any other time in human history, a restoration, a repair, a respect for the feminine energy is needed. And if you want to check out the process to healing the feminine energy, then you can check out the book, which is available digitally or in print form.